In several bubbles, where 12 universes reside in each of them, only one was about to evolve to a point that none of the other universes would imagine. A universe that has an extremely low rate of deadly force would become the most powerful universe in existence. And that universe is Universe 7, a universe that has seen several adventures with Son Goku, the Saiyan created on Earth. At that moment, Goku found himself on the old Kaio's planet, looking for an alternative to increase his powers using the wisdom of the Kaioshin who lived for millions of years. Goku, despite being extremely strong, felt more restless than usual. He unexpectedly wanted to become stronger, but he could no longer find methods or tactics to achieve this. Despite being a genius in combat, the strength he now possessed was beyond ingenious methods. So, in a secondary attempt, he turned to the old Kaio, as Goku was aware that not even Beerus and Whis would help him, as they want him to evolve on his own. Goku said, "So old Kaio, do you think there's still a way out for me? Can I still get stronger? This has been haunting me for a few days now. I often have the feeling that I have reached my limit," Goku commented, showing an expression of disappointment. Old Kaio said, "Listen Goku, I lived for millions of years. I witnessed several epic battles and was even involved in these battles. I witnessed several evil beings who wanted the destruction of everything and who were absurdly strong. But in all these millions of years, the Saiyan race was always the predominant one. They were extremely strong, stronger than they are today, and they were the most feared race in the universe due to their infinite evolution. If there is something I have learned in these millions of years, it is that the Saiyan race has no limits. That is not in their dictionary. They are certainly a strange race," said the old Kaio, who was trying to increase Goku's hope. Goku said, "Damn, is this serious? I didn't know that the Saiyan race was so strong at that point. But if they were so strong, how did they manage to be eliminated by Frieza? If that were true, they could have prevented the destruction of the planet, right?" Goku spoke, trying to think of a coherent response to this situation. Old Kaio said, "Well, you, more than anyone, know that the Saiyan race is characterized by its enormous pride and love of battles, and when they were dominating the universe, complacency and lack of training ended up taking over the Saiyan Empire, and little by little, they lost their strength, and this was passed on to their descendants. This is the reason for the tremendous decrease in powers, and why Frieza managed to dominate and control his race," said Old Kaio, who twirled his mustache while talking about the regression of the Saiyan race. Goku, upon hearing this, felt more hopeful of becoming even more powerful and never being controlled by anyone. Now Goku had more knowledge about his race. This filled his heart with determination. Finally, his goal of becoming more and more powerful had returned. Now he was excited. And so, without wasting a single drop of time, Goku asked Old Kaio for advice on how he could increase his strength. The old man responded instantly with the simplest words and, in a way, the most impossible to carry out. Old Kaio said, "This is very simple. What you need to do is get your tail back," said the old man, showing a convinced smile. Goku said, "What? My tail? How am I going to get her back? It was ripped off when I went to Kami-sama's temple. It's impossible for me to get it back." Goku spoke, being extremely shocked, shaking all over upon hearing this absurd suggestion. Old Kaio said, "Damn you idiot! Are you an energetic person, or are you just acting on it? The Dragon Balls can help you with this. It's not difficult, in fact, it's a very simple request," the Kaioshin commented while drinking his glorious tea. Goku felt enlightened after hearing such a suggestion and the solution to it, and he instantly flew across the entire world in search of the spheres and located them instantly. After collecting the spheres, he placed them on the ground and performed Shenron's call, invoking the omnipotent and imposing dragon, demonstrating all his glorious presence as was customary. Goku looked at Shenron seriously and without sparing any effort made the request, and of course, as expected, Shenron instantly fulfilled the wish and asked if there were any more wishes, but Goku says there was no need, and Shenron dissolves his presence, spreading the spheres to all parts of the world. After fulfilling the wish, Goku felt a strange sensation. Something was behind his back. He checked everything and finally reached his tail. Goku was extremely happy to have her back. He couldn't hide the enormous emotion he felt, and now having his tail again, he uses his teleportation and heads to the planet of the Kaioshins. After Goku arrives, he greets Old Kaio. Old Kaio said, "I'm glad you got your tail back. Now let's get to the most important thing. This tail will be your starting point to become stronger, and to do that you will have to achieve a new transformation, but you will need the Oozaru transformation to achieve it." The wise Kaioshin spoke, which made the Saiyan more curious about what this training would be like. Goku said, Oozaru's transformation? This is the transformation in which Saiyans lose their rationality, but in return they obtain absurd power. If I remember correctly, the power multiplier is around 10 times the user's power. It is certainly something scary. Son Goku. Vegeta was able to maintain rationality because he was a Saiyan with absurd power, and now I'm strong and I'm sure I can maintain consciousness, so let's go, the Saiyan said with immense excitement. He was eager to test all of this. Old Kaio said, okay, now that you understand, I will project a moon using my energy. It will be more than enough for now. The old man spoke, putting his right hand up and projecting a moon made of energy. The moon had been projected, and within moments, Goku looked at the projection. He was static, his eyes burned with emotion, his heart beat increasingly louder as if they were drums, and his size grew more and more. The huge creature with red eyes like blood was visible, standing still and looking directly at the Kaioshin. The old Kaio was afraid because he didn't know if Goku would be able to maintain consciousness, but such was his surprise when he saw the Saiyan being able to speak rationally. Goku had been successful in the first phase of training, and now he would move on to the second phase, which would be quite complicated. Goku said, so old Kaio, what's next? I feel incredible power, but all I did was increase my base power. It certainly won't be enough, said Goku, who remained with his scarlet eyes focused on the Kaioshin. Old Kaio spoke, now things will start to get complicated. Goku, I want you to perform the Super Saiyan transformation while in the form of Oozaru. It won't be easy, but you have to do it. This time, it will be quite difficult to maintain your awareness, so be strong. The old man spoke, looking at Goku with trepidation, afraid of possible failed results. Goku understood the request and performed the transformation. The skin that was previously covered in a vivid brown was now filled with a yellow brighter than the sun itself, and its consciousness had completely emptied itself. All that was left was a creature acting on the Saiyan instinct, the instinct of destruction and conquest. Goku fired several energy beams that were destroying the planet's soil. He uprooted trees and destroyed rivers until finally he stopped, and unexpectedly Goku's consciousness was brought back. Goku said, "Ah! What a scare! I thought you'd never come back. Don't worry, old Kaio, I'm fine. I managed to maintain my consciousness. It wasn't easy, since the Super Saiyan transformation takes away the calm in my heart, but I've managed to control the Super Saiyan transformation before, and I could certainly do the same now. So what's the next step?" Goku commented, showing a huge smile with his huge teeth, expressing intense anxiety and excitement. Old Kaio said, "I'm glad you made it. I knew I would make it. Ah well, now comes the hardest part, maintaining the transformation into your human form. Not only will you have to stabilize the transformation in tune with your heart and soul, but you will have to control your Kai in a perfect way. Any mistake could lead to your own destruction, or worse, could result in you becoming irrational again. So, are you ready?" Old Kaio spoke, who was now really worried about what could happen. Goku said, "Of course, I won't disappoint you, old Kaio. I will show that this period of time was not in vain. I will definitely succeed. If I don't succeed, everything ends," said a determined Goku, with fear and above all, with the courage to never surrender. Goku only had one chance, the chance to finally prove that all his effort, sweat and blood dedicated to all these years of training would not be in vain. If he fails, everything ends, and even if they ask for the Dragon Balls to return Goku's consciousness, if he fails, it will have no effect, since the power that Goku will possess will be extremely great, bordering on the unimaginable and inconceivable. Still, Goku remained calm. He remained with his eyes closed, reflecting on his entire life so far, all the adventures he had led him to this moment, the moment in which he will finally achieve a resounding power, which he would never even imagine having. The old Kaio had doubts about whether Goku would really succeed, as it was something very risky, and there was also the possibility that the power that Goku obtained would destroy him, as it could be a power that not even a Saiyan's body could handle. But still, even with all these reservations, the old man trusted Goku and always knew that he never disappointed anyone, and remembering all this calmed the old Kaio's turbulent heart. The planet of the Kaioshins shook as the aura and remnants of power leaving the Saiyan's body. Thunder, lightning, and spheres of energy were visible throughout space. The landscape of the planet was changed. If it once had an illuminated sky with several planets, it was now surrounded by a tremendous and strong light that filled everything, a light that could cause blindness of even the most powerful eyes in existence. After the Saiyan raised his huge arms upwards and increased his ki even further, a huge yellow barrier surrounded him. The barrier expanded and grew more and more, reaching a point where the barrier turned into pure light and filled the entire planet. Not only the planet, but the entire universe was welcomed and warmed with this huge, cozy, and strong light. A light that illuminated even the most empty spaces in the universe. And then finally, the divine light was calm, it was stable, and most of all, it filled a single being, Son Goku. Goku was very powerful. It was an indescribable sensation. He was so powerful that he couldn't even feel his own power, and this demonstrated that he didn't know his limits. This transformation would definitely be the definitive transformation of his life. His hair had grown and now reached his shoulder. It was filled with a majestic yellow, not only his hair but his pupils as well. Goku's arms had hair and his pants were yellow, and he no longer wore a shirt. The transformation was complete, and for the Kaioshin who witnessed it all happen, nothing could describe how happy he was. Goku had managed to stabilize the transformation and keep it under control. In fact, it was more than that. The transformation was in complete tune. The full and calm light was circulating his heart. The old Kaio said, "Excellent, excellent, you did it, Goku. I am extremely proud. I certainly had doubts as to whether everything would go well, but when it comes to you, the doubts instantly disappear. You look majestic in that form. I'm glad you didn't destroy my planet," Goku said. "It's incredible. I feel like I've been reborn. It's a new sensation for sure." "Well, thank you very much, old Kaio. Without you, this would never have been possible. Furthermore, you believed in me, and I will never forget that." Old Kaio said, "Well, enough talking. I don't want to be in this thank you situation. You can thank me by bringing me some girls, understand? Now go test your powers. Such energy should not be wasted for nothing. Go!" Goku, who just smiled at the Kaioshin's gesture, used his teleportation and went directly to Beerus's planet, where Whis, Beerus himself, and Vegeta, who was already in his Ultra Ego form and fallen to the ground, had been defeated by Whis. Instinctively, everyone felt the overwhelming presence of Goku, who observed everything calmly. Whis was certainly the most impressed, as he could feel Goku's energy, and he could recognize the Saiyan's enormous power. Beerus said, "Oh, look who decided to show up. I thought you disappeared completely. I see it has achieved a new form, but I can't feel any kind of energy coming from it. Tell me, what did you do, Goku?" Vegeta said, "And it can't be that form. That tail, he used the Oozaru transformation, damn it! I can't feel his energy, but I have an instinct that he is extremely strong." "Oh, damn Kakarot," Goku said. "Well, I don't really know how to explain it, but what happened is that I used the Oozaru form with the Super Saiyan, and that was the result. I must say that I have achieved unimaginable powers, so much so that even I cannot feel it. But anyway, I came here to test these powers." We said, "Then let's save you the effort. I'll be your opponent. I must say I'm impressed. You didn't put your focus on Ultra Instinct and still managed to achieve incredible powers. Congratulations on your new transformation. It proves I was wrong about you, a mistake I never expected to make. Well, this proves that you are someone extraordinary, just like Mr. Vegeta, who has had a significant increase in powers." Goku said, "Very well, I'm glad it's you, Mr. Whis. I will prove that Ultra Instinct is not the most powerful form there is. This power I obtained was with the help of my friends, so I won't disappoint you." Whis looked at Goku with happiness, because he knew that Goku could evolve without needing Ultra Instinct, but he wanted the Saiyan to prove it, and it was finally happening. Goku, without wasting any time, threw a blow at Whis so quickly that the angel almost didn't realize the blow that was coming in front of him, and seeing that his attack was avoided, Goku fires a large and powerful kick at Whis' stomach and hits him, sending the angel away and making him face a tree. Whis was still surprised by his disciple's great evolution. Now Goku could touch him, and this demonstrated how dangerous this transformation was. So, without blinking, Whis quickly goes to Goku and tries to launch an attack using his staff as a distraction. Goku dodges, but Whis fires a huge blast of energy that covers the Saiyan's entire body, but it had no effect. Goku was still intact and without scratches. Now it was his turn to attack. Goku charged at Whis with just speed, but in everyone's eyes, it looked like he had used teleportation, and that proved how fast he was. Whis was hit by a kick to his face that was accompanied by a huge blast of ki that shattered a large part of the planet's ground. But everyone still remained well, but Whis had his angel clothes a little torn, and this was an additional point of motivation for the angel to advance against the Saiyan, who defended all his blows with extreme calm. Not only that, but he looked at the blows as if they didn't exist. It means that Goku was so powerful to the point that the blows no longer existed for him, and what existed were just sparks. Goku moved away from Whis and soon planned began to launch a Kamehameha, but was stopped by Whis' staff, which hit the Saiyan and prevented the blow from being carried out. Whis attacked the Saiyan and tried to deliver all possible blows at the same time, but Goku defended them all with precision. It seemed like he knew all those blows, and therefore he dodged them all like a true martial artist. Unexpectedly, Whis was in the air. The Saiyan had delivered a low blow, and he hadn't even noticed. This proved that Goku's attacks were beyond the sensory perception of Ultra Instinct. Goku took advantage of the chance and performed a tremendous blow imbued with the yellow light that surrounded him, and this caused great damage to Whis, extremely serious damage to the point of making the angel spit blood and inevitably fall to the ground. Whis was conscious, but he couldn't move. It was as if the movements he knew were restricted, and now he couldn't execute them accurately. It could be said that he had lost complete control over the movements. Beerus said, I don't believe it. How? This is impossible. How is this possible? I wouldn't believe it if you told me, but I'm seeing something that no mortal in their right mind would have the ability to do. The ability to defeat an angel. It means Goku has already surpassed me. This guy really is indescribable. Beerus spoke, being extremely surprised and shocked. Not even these descriptions could say how he was at that moment. Vegeta thought, "Hey Kakarot, wait for me, I won't be left behind. You proved to me that the strength of the Saiyans knows no limits. You proved to me something that I always knew, that we have no limits. And I will prove it to everyone too. I, the Prince of the Saiyans, will prove it." Goku said, "Well, it was a great fight, Whis. I can't believe I could beat you. All of this was thanks to the years of training I had with all my masters. And of course, you were extremely important for this achievement. I thank you very much." Whis said, "I'm proud, Goku. You finally got there. This is your final definitive form. You have become the most powerful being in Universe 7. Congratulations," said the angel with joy and pride in every word spoken. Guys, and so we end this epic story. Did you like it? Goku's golden transformation is beautiful, right? However, it can appear more often on the channel if you want. So leave your like and subscribe to the channel, and bye.